Hello everyone, welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube, so as always, get yourself subscribed to the channel and get yourself involved in the live chat. This week, all roads lead to Bilbao. I am Scott Carney, and joining me tonight is Alistair Pearson and Cooper, maybe, because I think I seen him a minute ago.
Yep, he's on the window ledge just behind me.
Window duties.
Yeah, he's on the neighbourhood watch, so he may appear during this podcast. But yes, Bilbao is obviously we're going to Aberdeen game, but Bilbao is getting closer and closer now. I was talking to one of the Tylers that comes into my work. He goes to every single away game with Rangers. He's away. I think he's away actually on Thursday morning. He goes. But I'm jealous of the Bears going over there to Bilbao. I think it'll be a good atmosphere, and I see there's a few events lined up for them over there in terms of guys have hired out bars and all that. So I'm sure they'll have a good time.
I'm sure they will, mate. Yeah, I'm sure they will, and hopefully the trip there is good. But also, I hope the trip back is one of the best I've ever had, because hopefully we are celebrating a win. It goes without saying, you don't need me to say it. Spanish police are not your friends. Just be careful, Bears. Just be careful. So tonight we'll go through the Aberdeen game. And we'll obviously finish up with a preview of the kind of massive tie that is the second leg against Athletic Bilbao and in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. We are still in it, very much so still in it. The first leg is pretty much irrelevant now. It's a one-game shootout, as they like to call it. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. We'll start the Wally with the Aberdeen game. 2 each. One of those games that Aberdeen are probably going to feel massively disappointed that they didn't secure all 3 points, considering they played against 10 men for about an hour of that game. And another game that, as Rangers fans, you're looking at and not being overly impressed with, maybe apart from the Barry Ferguson's favourite word, character, we showed in the second half, not to give up. Before we break it down in more detail, mate, what was your overall take on proceedings against Aberdeen?
So it's another game we've conceded 2 goals again. I mean, the starting lineup, Carney, he made more changes than I thought. I thought it'd be a much changed Rangers team. I did say in Club Live I would change it quite a bit. I did say he may have started Suter or Igamane, but I would have changed it. The Aberdeen game, I know it's Aberdeen. You want to beat Aberdeen. You want to win every league game. You don't want to give Celtic the title as well that way too. But the bigger picture is Thursday night for us is the big game. It's the one we could potentially, I'll use the word again, potentially get into a semi-final. So that's the massive game for us. You've got to get these guys in Cornwall, the guys that are key players for us, your Raskins, Chernies, etc. So I understood why he did it. A weird team when you're looking at it going, what's the formation, what we're playing here? But it was a chance, Carney, for players that have been in the fringes for me to come in, maybe not make a name for themselves, but put themselves forward potentially in terms of we have Bilbao on Thursday night. Could they give the manager a headache and for going forward as well? And you'll probably come on to some of the players, Carney. I think a lot of them let themselves down big style. The first half was woeful for Rangers, absolutely woeful. Second half was, I think, a bit better, but ultimately, I was quite happy, to be honest, the way the game went, the score and the end up, but it was a game I didn't really want, to be honest, because you're looking ahead to Bilbao and you can't overlook Aberdeen, obviously. They'll be kicking themselves, Aberdeen. They should have walked away with 3 points, Aberdeen. They've absolutely ruined it, and you could see by their fans at the end. So I was delighted that it ruined them. And obviously, it held Celtic for another 2 weeks until they finally win the title, whatever it is. But it's symbolises our season in the league, Carney. The goals we concede, that's another 2 goals we're shipping. It's no good enough, and there's a lot of players in that team, squad players, if you want to say, they need to go in the summer. They need to go because, as they showed on Sunday, they're not good enough.
I on the post-match, I said I've done it myself, and a few people getting about me in the comments, and not that I ever feel like I need to defend my opinion, because I don't. My opinion is my opinion. I've just found it funny the way the game ended. I really did. I found it quite funny the way the game ended on Sunday, just because of the way it happened. How much Aberdeen are the way Aberdeen are, and I just found it quite funny. I did quite funny. I also went on to kind of get stuck into the team for that first half in particular, because I thought we were really thought we were terrible. Yeah, as I say, I'm a wee bit sick of coming on and saying the same story. We've seen so many times now that Rangers go 2-0 down in domestic games. I don't know why we do it. It's just something that we do. It's something that this Rangers team do. The flaws were there for everybody to see on Sunday against Aberdeen. I think it was clear as day that so many of these players have kind of reached their end of their time at Rangers, and the rebuilding almost starts now. Started a while ago, I suppose, probably after Clement left. That's when the rebuilding properly started, or the planning for the future anyway had happened. And in terms of the way that he picked the team, again, I wasn't particularly shocked. I think we all know the magnitude of Thursday night's game, and I think even Ferguson himself said after the game that he's had this in the back of his mind about giving the kind of fringe players, if you like, a chance. But throughout the game, it looked like a Rangers B team. It looked so disjointed all over the pitch. But there was square pegs and round holes to some extent. It looked like a 3-4-3, more than a 5-3 kind of 2 that we've been seeing. It looked more like a kind of 3-4-3 that he went for with Curtis and McCausland. And it's safe to say that a few of them really didn't make an impression at all. We will speak about the fringe players, mate, that underperformed. We'll leave McCausland till last. But again, the likes of Barami, I know he was playing more central midfield, but Barami, Danilo, proper for the goal, for their second goal. He's blaming somebody else for not picking up his man, which again, it's just what Robin Proper is. Unfortunately, he's just not good enough to be a Rangers centre half. And Cortez, there was just a real lack of effort, really, I think, from the majority of them. Is the way that I felt about him. I thought, you're not offering enough. I thought Danilo disappeared into the game. I thought at the start he was kind of shown. By the end, by midway through the half, I'd forgot that he was on the pitch. None of these guys really impressed, Ali. It's nothing that we've not known before. I don't think, well, Barami, he's got his critics, and quite rightly so. I don't think he should be here next season. Cortez, does he get a bye for the fact that he's only coming back into the team after quite a lengthy period out? I'm not 100% sure. He's got that price tag hanging over his head right now that we all know we're going to have to pay. So we're expecting big things from him. So he might get some undue kind of criticism, but again, I didn't think he was particularly great. And Danilo, mate, I just don't get it. I can't understand how you spend that money on the guy. Honestly, I can't. I can't. I don't see it. What was your take on? They're probably the 4 that stick out to me, but I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I folk know my thoughts on Danilo. I said at the beginning of the season about Danilo. Said he wasn't good enough. I said I'd move him on. Away back in the summer there if we could. We're sitting here in April now, and here we go. Danilo's offered nothing. £6 million we've spent on this guy. £6 million, and he's offered absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
He's getting nice wee touches now and again, but is that what we need? No, he's not good enough. And he's a guy we need to try and move on this summer, which again I've said is easier said than done. Cortez, I mean, we're talking about guys here, Canny, that we've spent good money on here. So Danilo and £6 million. Cortez, we need to pay reportedly £4 million on him. Yeah, he's been out for a long time, but again, he just doesn't look like he suits Scottish football. Doesn't look like he's up to it. Do they have the heart for it? Barami's a great example of I don't think he has the heart for it. Floats about on the edges of games. I thought he was better in the second half when he moved more onto the wing. He had a 10-minute spell where I thought he played well, and then he came off, obviously. But again, no good enough. And that's £14 million and 3 players we're talking about, and they're not good enough. And again,
we're not getting it's not even that we're not good enough, mate. We're getting nothing from them.
No, you're getting nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And these are guys that have found themselves as fringe players now that don't even look like they want to try and get into the first team now. They look like they're just happy to come in now and again and whatever it is. But I thought they were poor. Robin Proper, again, we've talked about him all season, he's not good enough. We know he's not good enough.
Yeah, it's just a
doesn't suit Scottish football.
Yeah.
He's bullied all the time. He's just not good enough. I felt for kind of Nsiala playing there beside him. He doesn't get any help with Proper there. A guy that's been a captain. He's early 30s Proper as well. He's experienced, but again, looks like he's never seen a football half the time. So they were 4 guys. I know what I'm going to get with Proper, but Danilo I was disappointed with because I thought he's got a chance here to try and show something. He showed absolutely nothing. Barami, I wasn't surprised because every time he's got a shot, he's done nothing. And Cortez, I thought, well, we've got to see him at some point because we're spending money on him. And he flattered to deceive. And there's obviously one guy you're left to talk about, Carney, but they four in particular, not good enough for me. And I think Barry Ferguson will, for the rest of the season, I don't think you'll see these guys that much, to be honest. I'd rather see some of these youth players than these guys because they're offering absolutely nothing. And I thought Finlay Curtis was an example of that. A guy who struggled at points in the first half, playing an unnatural position against that guy in the right-hand side. I thought he did all right at times, but when he moved further forward in the second half, he was better. But he was showing desire, the basics again. And these guys aren't showing it for me. So, yeah, they're guys that have to go in the summer.
There's guys on big money, mate, that don't show the basics. I think that's clear as day. We've been over it time and time again. A lot of people saying it's valid that Curtis is going to come in. He's a youth player. He's going to try and make an impression. He's going to be full of energy, which he is. That's absolutely true. But it's not hard just to do the basics of football. It's not hard just to... Effort is it's a fundamental of football. It's a fundamental in playing in any football team. You've got to give your all. You have to give your all because you'll get caught out and you stand out like a sore thumb when you don't, especially when you've got a guy like Curtis next to you who's busting a gut all over the place. I agree. I thought he was caught out a few times down the left-hand side. I don't think it let it affect his head. I don't think it let it affect his confidence. He was trying to learn from it. He was trying to match him as much as he could. And their winger, he's in form just now. Do you know what I mean? He's a form player for Aberdeen, but he was always going to get beat at times, and I suppose it was a risk that Barry Ferguson thought was worth taking. And yeah, I thought he was impressive, and what was overall quite a poor performance from Rangers. I thought Curtis was definitely one that stands out. I think with likes of Cortez, I think you have to play him for the rest of the season. I think he has to get as many minutes under his belt as he can until we hopefully try and see something from him. But you've got to remember when he first came in, he did make a bit of an impression. He was getting to the byline, he was taking players on. We were all quite excited about what we were getting from him. The injuries that he's had is just kind of completely wiped out any sort of kind of start momentum that he had. But we're paying money for this guy, so he's going to have to play football. We're going to need to see him. There's no point, because he'll be on a healthy wage for the money that we've paid from him. He's going to be on decent money for what we've paid. So he's going to need to contribute. We're going to have to get something from him, because unfortunately we can't sign him and then sell him immediately. It doesn't work like that, as much as we would all love to. Possibility of maybe loaning him out if we can get a suitor for it that's going to take the majority of his wages up, possibly. That's probably something for the new owners, new manager to decide going forward. But yeah, the rest of them, yeah, Danilo, Proper, Barami should all be looking for futures elsewhere away from Rangers, because they're simply not good enough, in my opinion. We've beat around the bush there. I thought Curtis made a great impression on the left, the right-hand side, young Ross McCausland. And I say young, he's not that young anymore. I don't want to bash McCausland, I really don't. I think he came in and he contributed. He made a bit of an impact in the team. He started well. He's kind of fallen behind just now due to Tierney being as influential in the team. I don't think he was ever going to really get a game over him. Really, when Tierney's been rested or not playing, or was got a knock or whatever, then the door would open up for McCausland to come back into the team. He's been there and he's done it. He's not sustained or really nailed down the jersey for his own. And Sunday is not going to help matters for me going forward. I thought attacking, he was all over the place. I thought defensively, he was truly atrocious. And I'm sorry if it's as harsh as it is. I think what he's shown, what he showed me anyway on Sunday, was he doesn't have the quality to be a starter for Rangers or to contribute from the start. Maybe the odd game, but I think it's better for both parties now that McCausland also moves on. Unfortunately, it's not worked out for him. He's broke into the first team. We've tried to utilise our youth system in terms of playing him, but that's arguably one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a Rangers player. It was shocking. He completely lost his head. For a guy that should know better, for a guy that has been in about the first team long enough, he should know composure. He should know to calm himself down. And I thought he looked like he wanted off that pitch as quickly as possible. I'm not saying that's what he'd done, but it comes across like that when you watch it. For me, there's not really a way back for McCausland now. He's definitely another one that he's going to have to be moved on. Yeah,
the problem with McCausland is he's just not good enough. Unfortunately, he did break through, and he had a wee purple patch. He got a good run in the team, but sort of getting in the team. It's then going and sustaining that and cementing a position for yourself and going to the next level. And he's never done that. He's went backwards. Tierney's come in this season, and that's been his position. I think the last game McCausland played, or he started, was Fraserburgh or something.
Yeah, that's right.
But that performance on Sunday, and he's not alone because we've just went through a few other guys there, but his performance of a title was, I agree, one of the worst performances I've seen. And I've seen a lot of bad performances. His distribution was terrible. I know he's not a defender in terms of where he was playing. Defensively, he was woeful. He didn't use his head. Being on a booking, why he's lunging in, stupid. If that's a senior player with Rangers, if that's Tav, for instance, he's getting absolutely slaughtered for that.
Slaughtered.
And McCausland, he's young, but he isn't young. He's been there long enough to learn. He's in the Northern Ireland national team as well. So the problem is he's not good enough. Technically, ability-wise, I don't think he's good enough to play for Rangers. For where we want to go, ultimately, we want to try and win the league next season. Is he a guy that's going to help us do that? No, he's not. So I agree. He's in a list of umpteen players in the summer that we should be saying to, thanks for your services, but going forward, you're surplus to requirements, and get your agent, whatever it is, to find your new club. I think he'll find a new club in McCausland. I could see him going to a bottom half championship team in England or something, or a Hearts or a Hibs or something, depending on what his wages on. I don't know, but
you love sending people to Hearts.
Hearts,
your favourite thing to do is to send people to Hearts.
Yeah, I know. You and Cameron would like me sending all these players there. But that's maybe where he needs to go, somewhere to try and kickstart his career, because he's not going to get the Rangers carnage. He's not going to get the minutes. He had a chance on Sunday, and I know it wasn't his natural position he was playing, but he let himself down, I thought, and he let Barry Ferguson down too. So it's a shame for the boy, because you want to see him do well, but he's not good enough. So he and a long list of other players have to go in the summer.
Yeah, I do agree. And it's look, he's a Rangers fan. You always want him to succeed. You always want him to succeed. I think he would probably get more chances than a Cortez would, for example. I think he probably gets more of a time because he's a Rangers fan. McCausland's a Rangers fan, but it just hasn't worked. He's never really contributed enough or shown enough quality that you think, yeah. And clearly, he's struggling to be more physical, just due to everything else. We've heard ourselves, mate, that they've tried dietary plans and stuff with him in order to get him to bulk a little bit, and it doesn't really seem to have had an effect. So unfortunately, yeah, I think Sunday is the kind of final nail in the coffin for the future of Ross McCausland at Rangers. Nate Doggy Dog 52 did say how many the past weekend's team actually have a future at Ibrox. Honestly, right now, I think everything's up for debate. I really do. I think most players are really up for debate. I don't think there is many of them that you can really say for sure that you want them to stay. I mean, I want the likes of Rask and Igamane to stay. I think Diomande, when he's playing a little bit further forward, has shown more of the player that I'd expect from him. And Suter, Tavernier as well. I doubt Tavernier's going to leave, as much as most people will hate to hear that. I don't think Tavernier will be leaving. But they're the kind of players where you're like, right, it's probably going to be them. But I still think to that extent, even the likes of Suter, I know he's not getting on a bit, but he's a senior player now. Raskin, we'll be open to offers for every one of the players. Every one of the players will be up for sale. I know we can't sell 15 players and sign 15 players, but if the money's right for most players, they'll go. It's really as simple as that. In terms of the rest of the kind of fringe players, then there's not many just now. There's not many of them that I look at and think, yeah, you're the one that's going to make a real difference for us going forward. So unfortunately, there's many of them that will go. In terms of the way Barry picked the team, he did say that he was nursing a few injuries, etc. I'm going to call his bluff here, mate. I think the majority of that was looking ahead to Thursday. Look, we don't know for sure. There could be a few injuries that we are struggling with. Might be slight knocks. I think every player always carries something. I don't think any player's really ever 100% fit. But what do you think? A wee bit of, I'm not showing you my cards right now from Ferguson?
Yeah, I think these players will be ready. A quarter-final of a major European competition with a chance to get in a semi-final, these players will be you'd like to think, chomping a bit to play. I'd be interested to know what players he's on. But Yilmaz, I'd like to know where Yilmaz is. Is he going to be available potentially in terms of, we've only got Jeffy. Do you play the two of them? Because we've seen that before. But yeah, I think he's playing his cards close to his chest. It's mind games, to be honest, in terms of the Bilbao manager will be watching us at the weekend too, in terms of who we were playing and what players weren't on the park. But yeah, the main players, I think they'll be ready for Thursday. I'd be shocked, if there was a guy like a Cherny or somebody that wasn't available. I think they'll be ready to go on Thursday, and that's the reason why he didn't play these guys on Sunday, because imagine we played them on Sunday and one of them I'll use a Cherny as an example. He get injured. It puts up shit creek a bit because he's a guy that can create for us. So, no, I think it's mind games, and I think it'll be pretty much an extremely strong Rangers team on Thursday that we see against Bilbao.
So we've slaughtered the team, mate. We'll pick out a few that the ones that I thought did perform. Obviously, we spoke about Curtis, but the other two that I think I'll mention is first Enciala coming back in out of the cold, mate, after being taken out of Dodge when things went pretty bad for him the last time he started for Rangers. Let's not forget that. I thought he looked solid. I thought he looked solid enough. I thought he looked confident enough. Another one that I think, in terms of what was happening in front of him, he couldn't do much more, and who he's playing alongside in terms of Robin Proper. I thought he was good, mate. I thought his response was good in terms of showing his performance levels were still there. A solid performance from him based on, as you say, the kind of circumstances surrounding the last time he played.
Yeah, no, I thought he was good. Enciala, and he came into the Rangers team and he had that wee spell of, he looked decent when we were talking about him in terms of next season, etc. And then he dipped, as young players do. Was obviously hooked at, was it Rugby Park he was hooked at by Ferguson after 20 odd minutes or something. And then he had another bad game after that, and we've not really seen him. So I thought he did well.
Was that not Barry's first game?
Yeah, I think
was it his first game? I think it was.
Yeah, but I thought he did well. You look towards Thursday night. Are we going to play the three at the back again? You're going to have Balogun, Suter, and who's it going to be? Will it be Tav, or will Tav go to the right? And Enciala comes in potentially. So he's put his name in there for Thursday night potentially. I thought he did no wrong, to be honest. I thought he was good. I thought he was quite composed on the ball at times. The opposite to Fernandez. I don't know if you'll come on to Fernandez, but I mean, it was
no point. It really is nothing coming on to Fernandez.
A bit of a joke in our group chat, and probably everyone else's group chats, when we see Fernandez appear in the team sheet, who's come out of a freezer for this game, and looked like he'd been in a freezer for all that time.
He was a certain. I know he went down injured and he went off injured, and that's unfortunate, but he just looked like, I was like, you're getting booked. You could see it in him. I was like, you're definitely going to get booked, and it's not really that lad's fault. Obviously, he'll be keeping himself fit, but he's not had an opportunity at all. No. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's alone. I wouldn't expect Rangers are even slightly interested.
He's not an obligation to buy, so
no,
don't worry about
so
that.
He'll be going back where he came from. Yes.
He'll be going straight back. But again, that goes down to recruitment with him. Why the hell? And we talked about it in January. Why did we sign a guy that's not played any football at all when we were crying out for a centre half, and we went and signed a guy who's not played football? And again, we've not seen him. So I'd love to know why we signed him. But everything that happened to him at the weekend, you knew it was going to happen. It didn't look good enough for me, to be honest. But Enciala was the shining light, if you want to say it, that back line, which wasn't great. But I thought, he's put himself in for potentially Thursday night.
Well, we speak about Suter, and whether you like it or lump it, right now John Suter's the best centre half we have at the club. So I think you notice when he's not there. I generally do. I'm not saying that John Suter is that he's perfect, or that he's really the kind of the answer, but I think he's pretty certain to start any time that he's fit and available, and obviously not suspended or anything like that. He's assured to start for right now. And Enciala, I was like, that's a good response. It's a professional response by him, considering the way it ended for him last time. The other player I want to speak about, mate, obviously the two goals that we scored, fantastic goals. Yanis Hadji's goal is absolute screamer. Honestly, I don't know how many times I've watched it. It's a peach of a goal. The way he runs onto it, Jeffrey just lays it perfectly into his path. Yeah, you see kind of how much it meant to him as well. After Dessers smashing the post, and I can still hear people shout, nah, Dessers, after he scores. But a great finish by him. But Igamane's the next guy I want to speak about. We've been witness to the good Dessers, the bad Dessers. More often than not, it's the bad Dessers that we have to go through. Igamane's been kind of shoehorned into the team. We've seen him on the right, we've seen him on the left, we've seen him just behind Dessers. None really seem to work. He's up front on his own after a flick on from young Curtis. He just battles three Aberdeen defenders like they're not there, like the determination that you want to see, just like kind of like a battering ram, gets that wee opportunity, and it's a fantastic finish. It is a tidy finish into the corner. See, for me now going forward, and I know we're coming on to Thursday, and there's going to be a lot of probably clamour to get Igamane and Dessers maybe in the same team, and maybe having two strikers on. For me, I don't know if I'd be sacrificing Dessers on Thursday. I think Igamane is, just with that goal alone, you're like, that's why you're a centre forward. That's why you need to play through the middle. When he's turned and he's running at defenders, he's a real handful. He's strong. He's got the low centre of gravity, the big arse, the strength to hold defenders off. There was three of them round him, and he still managed to put the ball in the net. For me, going forward, Igamane has to play through the middle, and he has to play there more often than not.
Yeah, he plays for me on Thursday night for that very reason. And another reason that I don't think we'll get many chances on Thursday night, and the chances that we do get, we need a guy that's going to put it away. I think he'll put more away than Dessers would. Well, you've seen Dessers over the last couple of games. He scored one and God knows how many chances it was. You're more confident with Igamane. I think he can occupy defenders better. I think if Dessers up there on his own, defenders I think he's easier to play against. Igamane, he's unpredictable at times. The ball can stick to him. It's got similarities to Morelos in terms of he's got that big arse you talk about, and he occupies defenders. That goal he scored was a very Morelos-type goal, if you want to say. A fantastic goal, fantastic finish as well by him. He was unlucky, obviously, in the first half of the one that was ruled off too, but yeah, he occupies defences for me, and he can carry balls up the park as well. How many times does he carry a ball up the park and go past a few players and even get taken down? He'll get us up the park, so it's a no-brainer for me, Carney. Dessers has been off the boil. I think he's a fantastic player to bring off the bench potentially. The last maybe 20 minutes, if we are looking for a goal, I think he's a very good option to bring on. You've seen it against Aberdeen. He came on, nearly scored. So I think he's a good option. But for Thursday night, and I know we're not on to Thursday night yet, but he starts for me. He showed against Aberdeen why he should start through the middle. So yeah, it's Igamane all day for me. And I'd like to think Barry Ferguson's seen that as well. I'd like to think he'll go with that too.
I think it's chance conversion. I've seen people putting stats on that as well. It won't take him 15 attempts to score a goal. He'll score maybe in 5 attempts. Do you know what I mean? Which is still not like superb stats, but it's still so much better than what we'd see from Dessers. Dessers probably does the hard work there. Maybe he got lucky. If that was a Dessers chance, maybe he would have got lucky. He would have got the break of the ball and it would have fell to him, but he would have probably put it out for a throw in. Do you know what I mean? With a shot, whereas Igamane there's the goal, I'm going to put my boot through this. He does the wee cheeky nutmeg and continues on. So yeah, I think Igamane has to be the centre forward, the out and out 9 for us moving forward. I think it's clear as day. Hopefully Ferguson's seen that as well. But yeah, 2 each. Look, it is what it is. We're 15 points behind with 15 points to go. This absolute miserable season that we've had to be witness to is almost officially at an end, and I for one can't wait for it, because I am very much looking forward to what the summer brings and the changes that we're going to need kind of widespread throughout this team, and hopefully we're not witness to another just awful domestic performance like this for a long time. I think we've seen our fair share of absolute drivel from Rangers domestically. So yeah, it's nearly at an end, very, very nearly at an end. Speaking of that, mate, the split fixtures were announced yesterday. Was it yesterday or today? I can't remember. But we are away. away to St Mirren on April 26th. The Old Firm is May the 4th at noon. Sunday, 11th of May, Rangers v Aberdeen at Ibrox. Midweek game, Rangers v Dundee United on the Wednesday, 14th of May. And we finish away to Easter Road on Saturday, May the 17th. Kind of irrelevant, Ali, for us. It doesn't really make a great difference who or kind of when we play. For us as fans, no Saturday 3 o'clock kick-off at Ibrox, which is always very annoying. We do like Saturdays at 3 o'clock, mate. And yeah, I heard it on Heart and Hand, and I thought it was quite a good point to make. Why the SPFL have thought we'll put the Old Firm right in between Rangers potentially being in the semi-final of the Europa League. Why is that not the following week when it's the Aberdeen game there? I've got no idea why they've done that. I really don't. It's another thing, another just clear indication that the SPFL just hate themselves to death, mate, and they want Scottish football to burn.
I mean, the Celtic game I thought would be the second or third game in the split. I knew it wasn't going to be the first game because Celtic would have a chance of cementing the league, if you want to say, at Ibrox. So I knew they wouldn't do that with the Police probably. So if we get through and we've got Celtic sandwiched in between two semi-finals, it's not ideal, but it is what it is, to be honest, for me. We'll come on to that if that happens. We have to get through Bilbao first, but it is what it is. 3 home games in a row as well. There's a Wednesday night game in there as well. There's no Saturday games at Ibrox. The only one is the Old Firm, where there's the Maybank holiday on the Monday. So
yeah,
you could get a couple of drinks for that. But
you literally just told me that before we came on here. I was like, I'm off the Monday.
Yeah. So that's kind of like a Saturday, if you want to say, because we're off the following day. But I just want it done this season. I look at it and go, there's another bloody 3 home games to go to, 3 in a row as well. But
at least we've already paid for them. At least it's not one of the ones where you're like, I'm going to need to pay for these.
No, I know.
Other games, yeah. I know.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be delighted for Rangers to whip money out my account if we get into the semi-final.
Oh, I can take as much, literally take as much as they want.
Can whip it out straight after the 90 minutes if they want. But yeah, but in terms of domestic fixtures, they are. Yeah, as I told you, I had a wedding on the first game of the split, and ideally I didn't want the Old Firm to fall on that because I wanted to go to the game, obviously, and it hasn't. So yes, that's a positive for me. But I just want it done with. I want Celtic just to finally wrap this title up. I kind of thought they'd win it at the weekend there when we nearly made an arse of it. So they will probably beat. I think they played Dundee United or something in the first game away from home, Celtic. So you'd expect them to at least draw that game. I think that's all they need, a draw, Celtic. So, I kind of just want them to get that league done and dusted so it's over with. But yeah, the last few games they really don't mean anything, can you? I know the Old Firm does in terms of you want to beat Celtic all the time, but I just want this season domestically done. I mean, there's a weekend coming up. We're not in the Scottish Cup semi-final because of what happened to us. So, yeah, just get this season over with and start in the summer.
Yeah, if we get through, I will happily play in goal for Rangers in the Old Firm. I'm happy to get that call up. I've never played in goal in my life. I can't dive to save my life, and I'm more than happy to play in goal because it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if we're in the semi-final Europa League. I don't care who he plays. I don't care what the score is because it's not important. It really isn't important. Also, winning that Old Firm game would have beat Celtic 3 times, and we'll finish 13, 14 points behind at that point. Whatever it be, I mean, that doesn't sum up your season. I don't know what does, honestly, or sum up this current Rangers squad. I don't know what does, but yeah, obviously that's the split fixtures. It is what it is. Right, we'll move on to the Europa League quarter-final second leg against Athletic Bilbao, which is coming up on Thursday evening. A massive game for Rangers, to say the least. Obviously going in 0-0 after the first leg, Rangers going down to 10 men in that game, and we managed to survive pretty well, I thought. Ali, going into the game itself, is there anything, do you think, that happened in the first game that Rangers can take into the second? Is there any sort of something that we picked up on. I do think before we really dive into it, this is going to be a different kettle of fish. This Bilbao are going to be right up for it. I think they rested 8 players at the weekend. I think, but I think one of the Williams brothers might be injured with a hamstring. I'm not 100% sure, and we need to wait and see on that. But is there anything that happened in the first game that you think we can take into the second for the best chance of success in this tie?
It's difficult because folk will look at the first leg and go, they struggle to break down 10-man Rangers, so are they as good as what we think? But it's difficult to play against 10 men. You've seen it before, teams that have played against 10 men. It's a different game. We sat in and basically tried to get a draw, and ultimately that's what we got. Bilbao on their own patch, I think they'll have a right go at us. I know they don't score lots of goals, Bilbao. They did. Did they win? Was it 3-1 at the weekend or something? They won. So
a goal down, 1-3-1.
Yeah, but the previous games, I think they drew a few 0-0 and stuff, so that they don't score lots of goals, but they don't concede a lot either. So, yeah, watching my Ibrox, it's hard to judge. What was I scared of them? No. I think we've played teams of similar calibre and done very well, Carney. It's a one-off shoot-off in terms of a game. We do very well away from home in Europe this season, which is bizarre. I think, as I've said, I think it suits Rangers. I said it before the game on Thursday. I said I thought it might suit Rangers in terms of the home game first and away game in the second leg, because the pressure isn't on Rangers. Rangers aren't expected to go and win in Bilbao. So I think that releases that tension from the team, and they can go and play similar to what they did against Fenerbahce. So yeah, I think there's joy to be had against this team, but we have to keep the back door shut for me. We have to be disciplined, and we have to hit them in the counter at times, because I think they'll have a go at us, and we need to be clever. I think you'll play very similar to that Fenerbahce team we played away from home. A similar idea to that, but it's a one-off game, Carney. It's 90 minutes. It may go in extra time. It may go to bloody penalties, which we won't be able to take, but we're in it. We asked before the tie, keep it alive, Carney. Just keep it alive. Give us something to play for, and they have. And we've got a really big chance on Thursday night. I don't want to get ahead of myself, because Bilbao are a very good team, but we've got a very big chance of getting into a semi-final, and it's there for the players. They've not done it domestically, but in Europe they have, and it's there for them to a major moment in their Rangers careers to try and get to a semi-final. So it's set up for these players, and hopefully they can rise to it again.
I don't think the motivation will be a problem, that's for sure. We know with this team that, with the terms of the bigger games, they have no problem getting up for it. Another positive to take is Rangers in Europe don't tend to give away a 2-goal lead, which is good. So we won't be 2-0 down before we start playing a bit of football. But I agree. I don't think the pressure is particularly on Rangers. I think we are an expecting bunch, don't get me wrong. And we have to remember that the first leg is kind of ruined by the sending off, and we did put a hell of a shift in to make sure that they didn't score. But it's not as if Liam Kelly really was kind of making world-class save time after time. I thought we managed them quite well. Obviously, the penalty save kind of speaks for itself. Kelly made himself the hero on the night. And yeah, I think Rangers are definitely going to need to box clever. I think it'll be a different sort of game. I think they'll be very much looking to get the game kind of killed off as quickly as possible. But it's just all about us doing our job, everybody doing their own job, picking up your man, doing the basics, doing the effort, and then taking the chance when it comes your way, because we will get a chance. We of course we do. Every team will always get a chance, and we have to make sure that it doesn't fall to Dessers. No, I'm kidding. Dessers in Europe's actually been quite good. I think you've got to remember that he's been pretty good, and but I think we just have to approach it the correct way. In terms of approach, you slightly mentioned there, do you think he's going to go with a kind of back three again, a kind of 5-3-2? Do you see any changes? Do you think he'll go to a more conventional 4-3-3 and maybe have a real go at them and battle with them and see where we're at? Or do you think he's going to stick with a kind of not tried and trusted really, but maybe survive the storm that they'll probably fling at us, and then let's say take the chance when it comes by maybe playing on the break, as you mentioned?
I think he'll stick with this kind of 5-3-2, if you want to say. I think he'll sit to a point. When you see them against Fenerbahce, Rangers playing that same formation, it's not as if they were just sitting there, but I think they'll give them the majority of the ball and we'll try and hit them in the break. The problem is we don't have pace to get us up the park. A guy like Cortez would be ideal if he was up and running and firing, but he's not, obviously, and he's not in the Euro squad, so we don't have much pace. Czerney's the big one for me. He's the guy that I think can unlock a few doors for us. Diamandi as well too. I think they're key, they too. But yeah, I think he'll play similar to Fenerbahce. I'd be very surprised if he went to 4 at the back, Carney. I think he's had joy. The Fenerbahce games is the example of where we've had joy. And we won that game convincingly. We could have won it by more potentially. So I think he'll look at that. And Bilbao will probably look at that as well and think we'll probably play that same formation. I know he's tinkered with it slightly, but he's had joy with that formation in Europe. I know maybe not at Ibrox, but I think you'll go with that one away from home because I think it suits Rangers.
I think, I would tend to agree. I think there's always playing that as well with the players that we'll have on the pitch. Probably it's always easy to move out of that formation and change it if needs be. But Rangers just need to try not concede early on and just kind of get themselves into the game, show that we're there for the battle. I wouldn't like to see us just kind of sit back because I can't take it. So you really can't take just sit and watch and to kind of sit back. And I think and to win this game, we're going to need to score, whether we get it to 0-0 and obviously it goes to penalties. But I don't think any Rangers fan would be keen on that. So we're going to have to score. So he's going to have to be clever to a certain extent. I think there's key players for me. Shooter is going to be key. I think Kelly's going to be key. I think they will get chances. I don't think there's any doubt that they will, because I think it'll be a different Bilbao team than we've seen previously. I think they'll be far more up for it and far more, I don't want to say clued up, because they are a clued up team, but I just think they'll be smarter about how they approach the game. I don't think their coach did very well in terms of trying to break down the 10 men and the changes that he made during the first leg. So Kelly, Suter, they're going to be key. And as you mentioned, Raskin and Diomande in the middle of the pitch, they're going to be key for Rangers. Raskin and Diomande especially. Diomande's going to need to be that out ball and be clever with his passing. He needs to have the good Diomande that I think we've all seen in glimpses. I would like to see him playing that a little bit further forward. So yeah, they're the players for me, and I think another one, mate's Czerney. Czerney's going to need to have one of his games. He's going to need to look right on it. It's clear that he's our danger man when he's in form. We tend to get the ball to him and things aren't going too well, but he'll be critical on Thursday night for Rangers to be successful, I think.
Yeah, no, I think he's run out of steam a wee bit in the last month or so, Czerney. He's not played a lot of football before he came to us. And the
good thing is, though, is there's no game coming up, so you can literally leave everything on the pitch on Thursday night.
No, I know, and he's been rested, obviously. He didn't play at all against Aberdeen, so he's the one guy. And this season we've tried. The problem with this season is we've relied on guys to do moments for us, and they've done it to a point, and he's one of the guys. His goal return and his assist return has been very good for a guy in the right. We've been screaming out for somebody to do those kind of returns, and he's done it. He's a danger man. I think he's got better and better. When he first came to Rangers, we were all going, "Oh, I don't know about him." Similar to Seamer, and he kind of grew into it. And I think he's been a very good signing for us, loan signing. Whether we can get him next season, I don't know. But he's a danger man for us. He's a guy that can make things happen. You give him the ball, he can carry a ball, he can beat players. He's got a good shot on him. I know he's very left-sided, but he's the one guy that I think can do something for us. And Diamande's key as well. I think he could potentially break the lines. Diamande's very good at turning on a ball and stuff and getting us moving. So they're key for me. And I know you mentioned Raskin as well. He's another guy that's got to dictate that midfield for us too. So Czerney's a big one. If we were going into Thursday night without Czerney, I'd have my doubts, because where's the creativity coming from? So they'll know he's the danger man, Czerney. So it'll be interesting what they do with him. But you'll be getting the ball to him as much as possible, because he's a guy that can create problems for Bilbao.
Yeah, he gets defenders running the wrong way a lot of the time, Tierney, when he's breaking. So, yeah, I think he will be pretty critical. Obviously, a bit difficult to pick a team. We don't know the full extent of injuries, if indeed there is any, or if Barry's just bluffing a little bit. We'll need to wait and see. But on it, mate, what would your team selection be for Thursday evening? And you can finish with your score prediction as well.
I'd be surprised if we aren't pretty similar.
The same team. I'd imagine we are the same team.
I think it'll be a very similar team to Fenerbahce away. So I think, I know some folk have said you bring Jack Butland back in, but I heard Liam Kelly getting, not slaughtered, but for the first goal against Aberdeen, that he should have done better, potentially. But how many balls did Liam Kelly come?
Strike as well, yeah.
It's a good. How many bloody free kicks did Aberdeen score against us at Batod? It seems to be every game we play up there. But how many times did Liam Kelly come and collect a ball for the sky against Aberdeen and just calm everything? Did it a lot. Did it against Bilbao. So he stays in goal for me. There's no reason to drop him.
Agreed.
Your back line, your back three, if you want to say, will be Suter, Balogun, and I think Tav will be there. Either side will be Jefty in the left. Probably Yilmaz on the right, potentially, if he's fit. The midfield three will be Raskin. Bailey Rice, if he's available, I think we should play him. Diomande just in front. And a top two of Tierney and Igamane. That's the team I'm going for. And I'm going to go, I'll go positive. I think both teams will score. It'll be 2-1 Rangers. I think it will go one each. And I think Dessers might come on and score the winning goal for Rangers.
Wouldn't it just be perfect, mate, wouldn't it? Yeah. I think the only real position that's up for debate, maybe two, maybe Barron for Rice, depending on where Rice is just now, but I don't think he doesn't deserve to play, put it that way. I think we need... he can be very much a box to box. He's got good energy. He's good at winning the ball back. He's good at getting in their faces. He's got a good pass on him as well. So I can see why Rice would play over Barron. But it's the kind of right wing back position there. I don't know if he makes a risk by putting, Enciala there, just because he's played at the weekend. I don't know. It's difficult in order to play Tav on the right hand side. But it's honestly, that's the only bit that I don't know. I'm not a massive fan of Yilmaz playing on the right hand side. I'm really not. So that's the only bit that I think that's really up for debate. Everything else I think takes care of itself. We'll probably be wrong and you'll probably start Dessers, but I think you have to start Igamane, you have to start Tierney. We're going to need a bit of power and a bit of pace there, and unfortunately they're the kind of two quickest that we have. And yeah, with Diomande sitting a little bit further forward, Raskin and Rice or Barron, again critical for us, but it's always going to be that right hand side where I'm like, I mean, I think if Sterling was fit, it would be Sterling. Unfortunately for Sterling, he's not fit. And he won't be fit for the rest of the season.
And it won't be McCausland there.
100% not. No, it will not be McCausland. That definitely will not be the case. So yeah, it's a wee bit open for debate. I think be interesting to see what he would do. But I think I would prefer Tav to play on the right as kind of the right wing back more than I would prefer Yilmaz to be there, which means you're going to need to bring Enciala into the team. So it's difficult. Yeah, it's a difficult one to call. Maybe does he look at the way Gio done the kind of 3-5-2 thing? Maybe having somebody drop in the middle, maybe he'll play Barron in order to drop into that kind of the middle of them, just to kind of pick up players more than anything else, more than obviously not win headers or anything else, but just there really for his tenacity and try to dig in and get the ball back. I don't know. But I'm also going to go positive. I'm going to go for a roller coaster of a night. I'm going to go 2 each at full time, and I'm going to go Rangers to win 3-2 in extra time. And I'm also going to go, as you said, honestly, it was in my head, and we don't plan these podcasts, by the way. I said Dessers is going to come on and score the winner, isn't he? Because that's just what he'll do. It's just what he'll do. So I'll go 3-2 Rangers, and for us to get through to the semi-final of Europa League, because why the hell not? We've done it before, let's do it again. A massive tie for Rangers, absolutely huge. I cannot wait for it already. Kind of counting down the others now to it. It's what you're a football fan for, a night like these, and Rangers are spoiling us a little bit of how we've done in this competition in recent years. But yeah, we have every chance as any to get ourselves through to the semi-final, just if we get things bang on. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Thank you everybody in the chat. Alistair for tonight. Thank you very much, mate.
No problem. Very much looking forward to Thursday night. It's at least something we've got to play for this season. Bizarrely, we are 90 minutes away, or whatever it's going to be, in terms of maybe getting to a semi-final of the Europa League again, which is mental to say after we did it only 2 seasons ago. But they've got a chance. These players, they've let us down big style domestically, but they've got a chance to slightly make it up to us in Europe. It'd be a massive scalp if Rangers could do it on Thursday night. And they could make themselves heroes getting into a semi-final. I mean, to do that in a major European competition is a massive achievement if they can do it. And it's there for them. The platform's there for them. They did well at Ibrox. As I say, it's one game shootout. There's no away goals as there used to be years ago. So just go out and win the game, Rangers. As easy as that sounds, just go out and win a game. And let's see. Well, it's Lyon or Man United potentially in the semi-final, but
bring it on.
Bring it on. I know, but yeah, just go out, just leave it all in the park, Rangers. That's all we ask. The basics, desire, application, and you never know, Carney. Stranger things have happened. Thursday nights, they come alive. Europa League theme tune, all these things. Hey, March, putting it in the group chat as well. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. And it is, I am off Friday as well, so I'll be able to have a couple of refreshments watching the game too.
Very much looking forward to it as well, mate. Ali's famous saying, it's over to you, Rangers. Go make yourself heroes again in this competition and get us to a semi-final. Hold on to your seats, everybody, because I think we're in for a rocky ride, but I'm sure everybody's very much looking forward to it. We will be back on Thursday with a reaction after the game, no matter what happens. So until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Very much hope your team wins. Play up the famous Glasgow Rangers. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.